Throughout the years, Pokemon has been a staple in many people's childhoods, with many getting excited every time a new game is announced. And yes, I am one of those people. Hello, what's up, and welcome everyone. My name is Miss Quinn, and today we'll be talking about my opinions on Pokemon throughout the years and my hopes for the next game. So get your Pokemon out of their Pokeballs and relax because this is going to be a long one. I will be tackling Brilliant Diamond, Sapphire, Arceus, and even a lot of other games, alright? So let's get this done. I'm the type of person who a lot of the times breathes in nostalgia, okay? If I can put it on a mirror and sniff it into my veins, I absolutely would. Which is why when I was watching my friend Rogue's stream, they were playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. And honestly, I got the shakes, I got the shivers, I got everything, even the goosebumps. I honestly looked for emulators since that was the only way I was ever able to play things like Sapphire, Red, and I even played Mystery Dungeon Rescue, which I honestly like, and even Pokemon Gold. But unfortunately, I didn't find the emulator that I used to use, most likely, and yes, because I forgot which one I used, and I honestly don't want to download the wrong emulator. I tried to download this one, but it wasn't working, so I honestly had to move on. Hello, Editing Quinn here, and I just wanted to say that yes, I was looking for Pokemon Sapphire emulators, but I could not find it. I saw that it had been released for Pokemon Alpha, and I was just like, Alpha Sapphire. I even went so far as to go inside of my, Nintendo store and search up Pokemon Alpha and then Alpha, or first one and then the other. Either way, I could not find it. I had to go on YouTube in order to look for it. And then I came across one guy who has an entire playlist of playing Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. So honestly, thank you for, indulging in my nostalgia. And please check out his video. I will link it down in the description. And after my surrender, I continued to watch my Rogue stream and I thought to myself, hey, I can afford a game now that it's payday. Should I get Arceus or should I get Brilliant Diamond? And even though I didn't get Diamond at first, I did later on within 2 more paydays. Entering Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, I was absolutely hit with that wave of white snow of nostalgia, and I loved it. I sniffed it, I took it in, I was excited about it. And before you ask, yes, I had to pick Chimchar. Listen, I love my fire types, okay? Fire types all the way. Anyway, I loved every second playing it. Currently, as of the time of recording this, I'm currently on my 7th badge. And though my memory is a bit foggy on some parts, my memory is also clear on many other parts. I missed walking through the caves and the tall grass, and I remembered a lot of the things I liked, but I also remember a lot of the things that I didn't like, and newer things that I'm now not so much of a fan of anymore. And that's because of the things that were either implemented or the things that were taken away. One of the things that I loved from Pokemon Sapphire was the secret bases. I remembered being able to go almost anywhere and just move some branches on the tree or move some branches on the bush or even knock down a rock wall. You were then able to get a randomized base and you can either choose to keep it or whether to move on to another potential base. In Pokemon Sapphire and in the original Diamond, you were able to put in tables and other decorations, even though I admit Sapphire, in my opinion, had the best decorations, because you were able to even put in dolls, stoves, tents, refrigerators. I don't remember doing that with Diamond, but I sure as heck remember doing that with Pokemon Sapphire. And once I got to the point in Brilliant Diamond where I was able to build a secret base, I was honestly a little bummed out to find that the only thing I can put were statues. And the statues only slightly increase the chance of finding those types of Pokemon. Like, for example, ghost or fairy statues were able to grant you the slight increased chance of running into those types of Pokemon. No longer were you able to decorate it with tables or chairs or even rugs. I don't know if people actually enjoy this change, but I didn't. The originals just had something that made it more unique and just made it more fun to want to decorate your own base. Now it just seems like a chore. I built it, I literally put in 3 statues, and I kind of don't even want to go back. I don't see a point in going back because if it only slightly increases my chances, then what the heck is the point? Something I forgot about being annoyed by was not being able to take a few steps without being bombarded by a bunch of Pokemon. But I honestly didn't find it this annoying now, even when considering the games that we now have that don't even have this. But it helps that with a wave of nostalgia that I love, and you truly don't have to get annoyed by them. You could literally just use Repel or Super Repel, and you'll never have to come across them, well, for as long as it's active anyway. But there is one thing that dominates my love in this game, and that's the fact that every Pokemon gets experience points. That is something that they implemented that I absolutely love. You would always have to put your weakest Pokemon in order to make them stronger, and then in the very beginning of the fight, switch them out for the strongest. But now all of them get experience points, and oh my god, finally. Gone are the days where we had to switch them out quickly, and gone are the days where we had to worry about, oh my god, I hate this Magikarp. Why did I ever get it? Oh right, that's because you evolve into a Gyarados. I miss battling with Riley in Pokemon Diamond, and after, fighting and getting to be rewarded with an egg as a thank you, again, it brought me back. And was I the only person who thought that Riley was really cute? I mean, his outfit, the hair, it was just there. And the fact that you're actually healing my Pokemon after every battle, you really know a way to a woman's heart. But anyway, something that I really enjoyed while watching Rogue's stream was that they were doing a challenge called the Nuzlocke Challenge, which consists of 3 main roles. 1. For any Pokemon that faints must be released or boxed permanently. It is considered dead for the rest of the challenge. 2. Only the first wild Pokemon encountered in a route or area can be caught. If the player fails to catch it, i.e. it flees or faints, the opportunity to catch a Pokemon in that area is lost. 3. The player must nickname all Pokemon they catch or obtain. This is not technically necessary for the challenge run, but it is a universally accepted as a part of a Nuzlocke. They also have additional common optional rules, the duplicate cause. If the first Pokemon in an area is one the player already owns, they may continue battling until they encounter one that they do not own and attempt to catch that one. Now, this rule prevents a player from having multiple of the same Pokemon, especially early in the game when the selection of different Pokemon in the first few routes is limited. The Shiny Clause. If the player encounters a shiny wild Pokemon, they may catch it, even if a wild Pokemon has already been encountered in that area. This does not count as the encounter for that area. Now, the Nuzlocke Challenge is for any Pokemon game, I assume. But as I said, the reason why I came across this challenge was because Rogue has been doing the Nuzlocke challenge in their stream. However, I feel really bad for them since they lost their starter Pokemon, all because they were looking at chat and got distracted.
Oh, I forgot there's a new Life is Strange game. Ooh, really? Interesting.
But they are currently still doing this challenge, and I highly recommend that you go check out their stream. And a small little side note, I also edit their videos, so yeah, please check out their channel. Coming out on November 15, 2019, Pokemon Sword and Shield was one of the first games I came back to after my long break from Pokemon as a whole. We no longer have the ability to make our secret base, but what we do have is the ability to Dynamax our Pokemon, which is essentially just making them a huge version of the normal version. This, however, only lasts for a few turns, but the attacks are more powerful, so I guess that is an upside. There's also a Gigantamax. I don't pronounce these things correctly. Anyway, the form not only makes them bigger, more powerful like the first one, but it also changes their appearance. However, this is only for a select few of Pokemon. I did really like the story, and in the end, where you defeat the Pokemon League, you actually have to quickly go to many places in order to basically calm down the randomized Dynamax Pokemon into being normal again. At this time, I have been getting very into open world games, and it was nice just to get on my bike and ride around in a vast open field with Pokemon all around. This was honestly the first time I got to see so many Pokemon roaming around, and I really liked it. But this is when I also saw some Pokemon that just looked silly to me. A lot of them looked as if they were running out of ideas, which is obvious. I mean, if they had been creating Pokemon for so long, there's only so much you can do. One was literally just two swords together, and the other was literally a set of keys. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be scared by a set of keys. When I went to the Isle of Armor and I saw this, I wanted to laugh because what? Like, you can give me some lame Pokemon that might be able to break into my house while I'm sleeping, but you can't give me back Mew and Mewtwo? I honestly miss them. I do. Wait, hold up, I just read where I can get Mewtwo. Oh, okay, you know what? This game might be okay for me. This is a game that I would definitely go back into every once in a while, and I have gone back to every once in a while. But like every other game, I do take breaks because I tend to, I don't know, I just get burnt out from playing the same game over and over again. Pokemon Arceus, which I hope I am pronouncing correctly, was released on January 28, 2022. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this was a game that I bought before I had purchased Brilliant Diamond. So of course, I was having high hopes on this game. Now, in this story, we go back in time to before people and Pokemon lived side by side and were using Pokemon as their own sort of labor materials. Anyway, I do like the fact that we get to see all the Pokemon that I fell in love with in the beginning. And again, I love the open world dynamic. Again, I'm a sucker for a good open world. However, I found it very tedious to keep battling and catching the same Pokemon over and over and over again just to fill up the damn Pokedex. I understand this is something you need to do because you're literally building up the Pokedex. And it makes sense, but it just gets to be too much. They put in all these little requests like, oh, you need to feed them. You need to see them get defeated by water X amount of times. You need to see them use this move. You need to use them do that move. You have to keep battling them in order to see them use certain moves, like I said, to feed them and whatnot. It just gets to be way too much. I do like this game on how you can have your campsites and how you can pick up other people's satchels that they lost and return it to them via the internet. That is something interesting and something that I did like I did like to see that implemented, essentially. Y'all got me tongue-tied around here. I just get so passionate about this game because it's like, I liked it. I did. I liked the addition of the crafting system. It does fit together well because it has to do with it being from back in the day. However, there was just so many things that, for me, just made this game feel empty and boring, and I understand completely where they're going with it. But for me, this isn't really something that I would recommend, like, hey, Quinn, I have never played a Pokemon game. Which Pokemon game should I get? Yeah, I would not recommend Arceus to you. If anything, I would recommend Brilliant Diamond to you, and then you can purchase Arceus if you want. As of the time of recording this, I currently need just one Pokemon to tame. And obviously build up the Pokedex and then battle Sinnoh. Like, I'm 100% sure that this is where it's going because every time you finish the gym, you go and see the legendary Pokemon and then you capture it and then you get all excited. But I'm not excited to see the ancient Pokemon. If anything, I just want to finish up the goddamn thing so I can close it and never open it up again. This is honestly what made me realize, oh, okay, now I know why people said that Power World was heavily copying Pokemon. Now I saw it because I played it and I was just like, oh, this is this is literally, kind of more than likely the same thing. The only difference is that you're not using your Pokemon as, free labor, and you're not having them make their own. You're like, you can't make your own house, which I was bummed out by that. But whatever. We now get to the new Pokemon game that was announced months ago and now set to come out next year. No doubt it's going to come out with the Switch. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, for those of you who don't know, yes, we're getting a new Switch next year. Now, I do like the fact that we do get to ride on the Pokemon's back, and now it looks like we're going to be able to fly. Honestly, I like it. I'm with it. I'm down with the countdown. Listen, I don't know this lingo anymore. Anyway, it reminds me a bit of Arceus in the fact that it's an open field and how the battles seem to be done. But again, we don't know with how little we were shown in the gameplay footage. The crafting system is something that I wouldn't mind seeing make a comeback, considering that we're basically helping build this place back up. So either we get a crafting system or we get, Pokemon to help us out, which I think they're also going to be doing. I think if it was me, I would I would take a play from, Power World's book and kind of, get theirs and splice it onto mine and then call it a day. Because it does make sense. It makes sense for them to be able to have Pokemon work alongside the player, considering that they're going to have to build up the city. It's just something that's going to have to be done. And if you're just like, oh, Quinn, how do you know that's going to be possible? Well, we literally have like blueprints for homes and blueprints for all of that. But if it was up to me, just give me back my secret base, okay? Or let me have the option to build my own home. That is something that I've also come to love when it comes to survival games like The Forest or any other game of that nature. I like being able to build my own base. Oh well. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for being here. In all honesty, if I were to say which game I disliked the most, I am sorry, it's gonna have to be Pokemon Arceus. Just because it just gets so repetitive so quickly, having to battle and capture the same Pokemon just for, points in order to get another star, in order to allow us to level up our Pokemon. And I'm someone who likes to grind out their Pokemon to level 100. So this is extremely tedious for me. The second one I would put here is Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like I said, I liked it. This is the game that I came back to after a long while of not, playing Pokemon anymore. And the first one, it's probably because of my need for nostalgia, but I just love Pokemon Diamond. I love Brilliant Diamond. It revamped the things that, that needed to be revamped, like everyone getting experience points. I loved it. I fancied it, ate it up, all of it. The base, I don't really like the fact that the secret base were basically just boiled down to you having statues, and that is it. That is something that I did not enjoy. I very much liked the decorations, having to get, chairs and tables, and you get like a little Pokeball rug. I loved all of that. But anyway, guys, let me know what is your favorite Pokemon game and what is your least favorite game. All right, that is it for me. Thank you all so very much for watching, for listening, and for just being an amazing person in general. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. And with that being said, guys, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.